Okay, Nate here from 7AI, and one of the things I like to do is find any way that I can take something that is repeatable, something I do more than once, and say, is there a way I can automate the manual stuff with AI? And my favorite example is I am often advising early stage startups, particularly for me, it's in cybersecurity, and they often ask me to take a look at their one pagers, right? Whether it's for an investor, for prospects, whatever. I said, well, wait a second. Instead of me going through it each time, what if I, number one, created a framework, and number two, used AI to create a very simple web app where you can upload a one pager and then have the web app look through it, compare it to a framework, and then spit out suggestions. So that's exactly what I built. Let me show you right here. I'm not going to go through every single step, but I started with this, and here's my prompt. And first I wanted to create a framework. And so audience, style consistency, urgency, clarity, differentiation, proof, and emotional ties. And I said originally just suggest other evaluation criteria, a way to judge and score, and then using that framework to evaluate the one pager with specific recommendations. Remember, the audience is made of chief information security officers that have heard a million vendor claims. They're inundated with vendor pitches and need something crisp, succinct, and different to stand out, and urge them to pay attention. So this should be part of both the scoring rubric and how we evaluate the specific one pager. So this is what I started with. Okay, so let's start with our PDF. Here is a sample one pager, and I wanted a problematic version. Now you'll remember the criteria I put up there before: audience, style, consistency, urgency, clarity, differentiation, proof, and emotional ties. And again, remember, this is for a security audience that's heard everything, every ambulance chasing vendor. So I wanted a version that actually was pretty bad. And so here's that PDF for a fictional company called CyberPanda. Here is that PDF. We're going to use this PDF. I created two versions of this one pager analyzer. One is in Gemini and the other is in Claude. Some of this stuff is optional, so we're just going to go CISOs. We're going to just get rid of the other stuff. Now I'm going to upload the document and say analyze. Okay, so it went through and it gave a score of 8 out of 30. Audience alignment and tone, right? So it said it's highly aggressive, fear-mongering, right? Here's a recommendation. Clarity and brevity, it gave it a 2 out of 5. Differentiation, 1 out of 5. Urgency and pain, credibility, and then it actually rewrites it. And it allows you to download the rewritten version and the analysis. Let's do the same thing in Claude. The thing I like about the Claude version is it actually shows the framework up front and the scoring and the weights. So let's do that again. All right. This gave it a 3.1 out of 5 on audience alignment. Here we go. You can see the score here. Strengths and weaknesses. Then we can look through and look at the improvements. So I think you can get the idea. What I like about this isn't I want you to build a one pager analyzer, but instead imagine the different things you can do. Let's say that you want to come up with something to check tone, or to make sure that every blog post has links to other places on your site for SEO reasons, or there's a million different ideas here that you can use. And just by coming up with that simple framework and then creating this very simple web app that I don't know what it would have taken before, this just happens right away. And now I've got two versions, one in Claude, one in Gemini, that I can use to check tone, to check consistency, to check style, whatever. But just think of all of those things that you're doing over and over again, and look to see if you can use AI to be able to create this. Now, I could have done this in ChatGPT. I wanted to have something that I could actually share with people, right? So I'm working with these companies and I give them my feedback. Well, I can just share this first and have them upload their own and tweak and upload and tweak. With ChatGPT, I could do it one-off and upload my own, but I can share this as an artifact or a canvas with other people through Claude and Gemini. But the same applies if you were just to create a custom GPT. So I just love the idea of being able to document that framework, the requirements that I have, and then be able to check against it anytime I want using AI.